It's me, and I'm thoroughly confused as to what is happening. Starting off, we begin our journey with Snake smoking on an airplane and getting told off for it. Rightfully so, if you ask me. And he was so taken aback that someone would ask him not to smoke on a plane, he jumped off of it into the fucking jungle, into the fucking Christ, into the jungle. Now, pretty much none of that was true, but the game's been out for 20 fucking years, so if you want to know the real plot, watch the Maxor video. It's about as easy to follow as the rest of the series anyway. So, I have played some Metal Gear Solid. I've played 5, Phantom Pain, and that is it. And I had no idea what was going on the entire time. So, going into this, I was hoping to gain some sort of insight into what it all meant and what was going on in 5. Spoiler alert, I didn't, and I still have no idea what was going on over there. I didn't even realise the fire guy was Sokolov until I watched a lore video. Like, how did that even work? What happened there? Anyway, Snake lands in the jungle to rescue just some guy. He's just a scientist. And Snake sneaks his way through, gets spotted, kills some guys, not really, gets beat up by his mum. You know the story. I won't stay on it for too long. Guy he was rescuing gets taken back again, and a while later he goes back to the jungle to get the guy, redeem himself, and kill his mum and all her weird friends, I guess. Either way, Bogbiss make it to jungle, and our game finally take place. Cool. Right. To dissuade any preconceptions about my thoughts on this game, I will tell you how much I enjoyed it. I didn't. I did not care for Metal Gear Solid 3. Now, honestly, honestly, I did try my best to get on with it. I really did. But my gameplay sessions over time slowly whittled themselves down till I was basically playing for like 5 minutes at a time before I ended up getting off of it because I just wasn't enjoying it and I was only playing it to try and finish it for the review. I got all the way to the point where you sneak into Groznygrad and try and steal that one Twinks uniform. But by that point, I just couldn't be bothered anymore. The gameplay by that point just felt stale, really. It was interesting probably back in 2004, and when I started the game, it did seem pretty interesting and cool. But obviously by now in the modern era, I've been spoiled. Hiding in tall grass and just shooting a guy with a tranquilizer gun only stayed fun for so long. And the boss fights, whilst cool and interesting on the character level, on the gameplay level weren't really that interesting or engaging, or even challenging. Bearing in mind I've only played one Metal Gear Solid game, and that was when I was a child, so I'm not exactly a veteran of the series or anything. And even then, I played on normal. The normal difficulty, it still felt easy, even as someone who doesn't play these games very much. Now, this all might just be me, and I'm willing to admit, I understand that the game is dated, and it is a remake of a game from 2004, I know, but it just feels like I was playing a remaster rather than a remake. It felt like when I played Metal Gear Solid 5, really, but just with better graphics. And again, Metal Gear Solid 5 is the one I played as a kid, so it's still dated. But they marketed it as a remaster, or at least when I googled is it a remaster or a remake, it said remake, not remaster. So I really thought they would have looked at like a lot of the half-baked features, it feels like healing, for example, and just added a bit more nuance and depth to them. I don't really know what to say for this point though, because I can understand the plight of the devs on this one. If they modernized the game and completely added more nuance and depth to the features, people would be annoyed they didn't stay true to the original. And if they didn't do that, they'd get a bunch of assholes like me saying it feels dated for a 20-year-old game. And either way, that's not what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining by saying they should have. Like, there is no point in remaking the game if you aren't going to remake the game. Like, don't just make the graphics better and keep everything else the same. A remaster is not a remake. They're different things. I don't count the new controls, that's literally the bare minimum for a remake. And even then, they were still a bit clunky. Like, the stealth and healing, I don't know what state they were in the original, but in Delta, it still feels like they're dated and from a previous era of gaming. But that's exactly the stuff I want them to make better. Like, the healing. For a specific example, I get injured, I mash all the stuff I need in the menu because it tells me exactly what I need, and then I leave and keep doing what I'm doing. it doesn't feel like it means much selecting all of this stuff, and I never ran out of any of it, so I'm not really sure what the point of it was. The same thing with eating. Like, you're showered with so many different animals to eat, I never ran dry of anything, even stuff that Snake liked. So it just felt hacked on to give you just another thing to do, instead of the game being sitting in bushes for 10 minutes at a time. And oh my god, the cutscenes. This one might annoy some people. I didn't like them. I'm playing a game, right? So I want to play the game, not watch a movie. Like, this annoyed me in 5 as well, and I get it's what Hideo Kojima does, but I'm saying he shouldn't. Like, it felt like Hideo Kojima made a movie that is really good and well written and really interesting, if a bit lacking on the explanation parts for a lot of what's going on with the characters and why they all have fucking magical powers for seemingly no reason. Like, it is cool, but why can Sokolov do that? But if you want to make a movie, man, just make a movie. Don't make me walk down this corridor after a cutscene so I can get to the place to trigger the next cutscene. Like, it felt like I was playing a game so I could watch the movie Hideo Kojima would have much rather have been making. I skipped a bunch of the cutscenes near the end of my playthrough as well, just because they were so long. Like, I liked the plot, but they just dragged. And I wanted to play the game, but towards the end, even that started to get on my nerves and just a bit boring. Why are you showing me noodles? Go away! Even the stealth, like, it was fun at the beginning, and having to change camo and opening the fold depending on foliage and stuff like that is cool, but as the game went on, it's just, the number goes down, I see that, I change to the next best camo, and I keep going. And then, oh, number's gone down, change up again, keep going. Like, it never impacted me or made me actually have to think. Again, it just started to get a bit boring. I want to preface, these are my own opinions, by the way. Like, emphasis on the opinions. I know this game has a lot of fans, and I don't want to piss them off. And I understand, like, 20 years ago, this was really cool and fun and new. But it's obviously not nowadays, and I'm saying they probably should have put more nuance onto this stuff and depth for a modern remake. It's a remake. Because, again, I wanted to like it. I really tried. I've got almost 10 hours into the game. I just didn't. And if it's one of them games where people turn around and say, oh yeah mate, after the 11th hour it gets really good, then I am trying to piss you off, because that's a stupid way to think about media. If it's bad for 10 hours, it's just bad. I don't care how good it gets after that. But either way, I'm not saying that about Metal Gear Solid. The whole thing is just a pet peeve. That whole argument is just a pet peeve of mine. But either way, in conclusion, I think Metal Gear Solid Delta is something fans of the original will really, and I mean really, enjoy. It looks to me just like the older one, not graphically of course, but modernised, just with a modern quality of life. But for people who don't have nostalgia for the original, it will just feel like a modern game that just doesn't have very fleshed out features, and a plot that just keeps interrupting and holding the gameplay hostage for another 10-minute cutscene and a fucking ramen, what? And just as the game goes on, it just gets more and more annoying. At the beginning, it felt like quaint and okay, yeah, I get it, we're getting exposition for what's going on, but the more just longer and longer cutscenes just got on my nerves as I played, and I assume they only get longer. I will say, both the original and the remake are both works of art, and I will forever respect what Hideo Kojima has done and accomplished in the gaming industry. Going up that ladder in the area, that name I can't remember now, and the theme starts to play was really cool. It wasn't needed at all, but it massively elevated the experience and definitely made it a lot more memorable. So, all in all, I give MGS Delta Snake Eater, we're doing a squeakquel, 9 out of 10 fellas. I know I didn't like it personally, but I'm not blind. I know people love this game, and I only judge it on modern gaming sensibilities because it's a modern remake and not a remaster. I just don't think they went far enough in the remake part. I think they marketed it wrong. But anyway, bye. Hello, if you made it this far into the video, I just wanted to give some extra exposition. This is a bit of a shorter one, just because I don't like reviewing games I didn't enjoy. I'd have no motivation to make videos and stuff like that. And I don't like playing them to get footage for the thing. But the reason I did this one is just because I said I would. And also, I think I don't know, people might find it interesting. So I actually had motivation to make this one. And also I already had the footage because it's just a linear game. So I just had footage up to the point I played. So I just used that. But I wouldn't expect many more videos like this. This is more of a one-off one on videos on games I don't like. Just because I'd never have any motivation to make videos like this very often. So, yeah. This one's going to be an outlier, but expect more cool videos in the future. If you made it this far, you can have a sneak peek into what's next. It's probably going to be on Vintage Story, and that one is also going to be a bit different to what I normally make. But yeah. Bye! God, I'm coughing.